Hammanskraal residents are still not able to drink water from their taps as the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant remains incomplete. At this point, it is not clear when the plant that was marred by tender corruption will be ready. For more on this conversation, I'm joined by former Tshwane Utilities MMC Abel. Abel, it's always good to speak to you. Let's start off with an outlining of the main factors that have delayed clean water access for Hammanskraal residents.
Good afternoon, Hugo, and good afternoon to viewers at home. Hugo, Hammanskraal remains a problem because of the situation with Rooiwal wastewater treatment works that obviously discharges to the Abel River, which obviously feeds the local dam, where we abstract to the Temba water treatment plant, where we then treat that water to be given to the residents of Hammanskraal. Now, the unfortunate situation at Rooiwal is that for years, that plant has not been expanded to deal with the growing number of people that are here or that it services due to inward migration, but also population growth and rapid industrialization, where it falls short not only in terms of its capacity, carrying capacity, but also that there is heightened organic overload that makes it impossible for it to deal with the kind of effluent that it gets. Therefore, we needed to have upgraded this plant, one, in terms of its capacity to deal with the kind of effluent, but number two, in terms of its carrying capacity. It is currently supposed to be operating at 120 megaliters. It is obviously getting over 140 megaliters of effluent that comes through every day, which means over 20 million liters of effluent does not get treated. But it gets worse. It is not functioning optimally because of the failure of the plant in a number of areas. The anabolic digesters are a problem, as well as a number of things. So not to get too technical on it, it is a fact that we needed to have done work on the Rooiwal wastewater treatment work so that we are able to give people of Hammanskraal clean drinkable water. But Hugo, there is a lack of political will that has always been mooted by the likes of us, because the solution that they are trying to implement now has always been there, and someone like myself has always said it is possible to give people of Hammanskraal clean drinkable water, even as you would be dealing with the problems with Rooiwal wastewater treatment works. Unfortunately, for many years, interest, especially business interest in the tanker business, as well as lack of political will, has kept people of Hammanskraal in the place that they are at now.
Now you talked about you talked about that population growth over the years, and when you look at those numbers, I think it's 76,000, a little over 76,000 in 2001. At 2011, that population had grown to 94,273, so just shy of 100,000. Currently sitting somewhere in the region of 123,000. So just how much work needs to be done? You talk about political will in order to expedite the delivery of water through the traps to the taps for this population, because the population has grown exponentially in the last 20 odd years.
Look, the work that needs to be done could have been done. We invested wrongly, or there was a wrong investment that was done. There is a purification plant that was built to the tune of close to $1 billion that will not address the problem that was there. If that money had been channeled to the right place, that situation would have been remedied. Equally, there is a pipeline that runs from Block DD to what we call Rooiwal, which used to be Stenvater. You didn't need much. You needed a pump station and a reservoir halfway through. It's 14 kilometers to Hammanskraal, and then feed on. There is enough capacity in there. In fact, what they are doing by rerouting that capacity from the area of Rooiwal into Temba is exactly what we have always proposed. Unfortunately, politics took center stage, but I think a lot of work needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. It is unfortunate that every door that people of Hammanskraal have knocked on has not been able to open and respond to their cries. We've been to the Human Rights Commission, we've been to the Public Protector, NCOP has been there, the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Water and Sanitation has been there. We've spoken about the issues, and until now, nothing has really been done. The new mayor of Tshwane came on, there was a plan that by October people would be getting clean drinkable water. Immediately we saw excuses that there was issues of vandalism and sabotage, and we have gone back to square one. We are now in November, and I can almost bet my last time to say we'll get to December, possibly in January, there will be excuses after excuses. The first phase will not be rolled out as promised. And it is unfortunate because this is not rocket science. Water care management has always been with us for the longest of time, and South Africa was a leader at some point in water management and in water treatment technology. And unfortunately, we've allowed ourselves, and for a city that, is one of the cities with the highest number of academic institutions, your UPs and your UNISAP, and all this expertise that lies with us, we should really be showing the whole of South Africa how we need to be treating water. And unfortunately, we are not doing it. Hence, you are seeing a progressive water problem throughout the country. And it is sad because we have been placed in a place where we could have really been leaders and demonstrated what South Africa can really do, especially given that the capital city, which is Pretoria, or Tshwane in this case, is placed in a place where we've got the eyes of the world are upon us. And therefore, it becomes very important that those who are in charge understand the enormity and the weight of the task that they carry in making sure that they do not only look after residents of Tshwane, but they then showcase and really demonstrate that South Africa is capable. And we have not seen that. We have seen the merry-go-round around the mayoral chain, and we have seen the same going on in council. And when you have that situation where council is dysfunctional as it is now in Tshwane, you are always going to see people suffering because basic services will not be rendered.
So with relatively new leadership in the city of Tshwane, you don't expect that these issues will be addressed in the short term?
I don't expect that these issues will be addressed in the short term. I don't think Mayor Moya has the requisite support that she needs to have. We understand the tanker business that is booming due to this problem, and the people who have put her in the mayoral seat would not want her to resolve the problem. And for that reason, I doubt very much that we can see any improvement in that. But also, you are always going to have this infighting that you will always go on to say who must take over and fix Rooiwal wastewater treatment works. So you have a myriad of challenges that are there, and you have weak leadership in the city, because when you lead a city and you don't have a sufficient mandate, you don't have the capacity to make the decisions that can upset other people but are very necessary to be made. And so for that reason, I do not see that the problem will be resolved anytime soon. But you know what, at the end of the day, it becomes very important for people of Hammanskraal in particular to continue to put pressure, and those of us, whether we were in the system or we are in the system or outside of the system, to really work hard to make sure that the plight of the people of Hammanskraal does not get to be forgotten, and we continue to fight that they get this basic human right where water is actually a basic human right.